So when I was in college, I took an English class. And there was I know this is 20 years ago, and the topics of this English class were American history, like African American slavery, war, September 11th, and so on. And the professor said, your writings on the readings can be funny, creative, imaginative. Then he turned to an attractive woman in the class and said, your writings can be erotic. I realized he was trying to say he was the cool professor, he was the open-minded professor, you could write anything you want and it won't faze me. But how the hell do you write an erotic story about September 11th? When the plane came crashing into the building, we had a burning and steaming affair. You just can't write an erotic paper on September 11th. It's like the opposite of erotic. It's life and death. It's horrifying. I get what he was trying to say, but, quite frankly, September 11th is horrific. So, how many people actually give a shit who these celebrities endorse as political candidates? I know so many people, want these... I couldn't care less about who some narcissistic pop star or movie star endorses. Frankly, they shouldn't influence society. But, I'm the real celebrity endorsement. And you know who I like? I like Donald Trump. I like J.D. Vance because they're badass, they're tough. And anyone who doesn't like these politicians, well, they're not a true inpatient. They're not a true fan of mine. And get lost. I want to divide my audience. I want to isolate 50% of my audience. So lately I've been single, disabled, I'm an incel, and I'm always around my mother, father, and stepfather. I'm frustrated, they get on my nerves, but me, I can't possibly get on anybody's nerves. I'm fresh, suave, cool, I'm a pleasure to be around. But seriously, familiarity breeds contempt, and if I don't get a life soon, some think it might end like the Massapequa Horror House, like the Amityville Horror House. Obviously, I'm just joking, but, if someone doesn't get me a life soon, or they say you have to get yourself a life, I'm really at my wit's end. Like I said, I'm not a danger to myself, I'm not a danger to others. The men in white coats might take this joke too seriously, and they might not see the humor in the joke. But, quite frankly, I'm desperate for a girlfriend, I'm desperate for financial independence, I'm desperate to get away from my parents. My mother says, then go to mental health recovery groups, especially ones in New York City. I said, I'm scared of New York City. I'm scared of getting assaulted by a criminal. My mother said, go into New York City with the attitude, I dare the criminals to assault me. Go into New York City, with confidence, she was basically saying. And I get what she was trying to say. She was trying to say, don't be anxious. You might find love. But, you dare the criminals to assault you? If a criminal on the subway actually attacked you, for example, it would be a really bad day. You'd probably have to take HIV PrEP. Hell, if you tried to defend yourself, the media might turn you, the victim, into the perpetrator. So, Mom, no, you don't want to get assaulted on the subway. It would be a nightmare. So it really peeves me when people credit their hard work to God. I was watching hockey, and a hockey player said, the Lord was with me when I scored a goal. People who create masterpiece music sometimes say they have divine power and couldn't have created any of this without God. You know what? I didn't create any of my artwork. I didn't create any of my social media content without God. God is my co-writer. But if I gave God a co-writing credit, I might have to give half my money to the church, and I don't want to give half my money to that pedophile organization. So I wrote all of this alone. But seriously, it's all hard work. Yeah. So when I was younger, I was very naive, and I went to a work party with my father. I guess I was elementary school age. A drunk woman said to my father, drink, drink. He said, no, I'm with my son. So she poured beer in his hair. I asked my father, why did she pour beer in your hair, Dad? And my father responded with, beer is good for the hair. I believed longer than I should have. Beer was like a shampoo product. Obviously, I knew it was alcohol and it intoxicated you, but I believed it had multiple uses. And, you know, now I know better at 37 years old, but I believed well into college that beer was like this, you know, product that you could use in your hair. You know, I was really naive.